Let's go. All right. What do we got going on here? Turn off energy saver. We got power and battery. All games. We'll go to balanced. I don't know. We don't got anything. Just watching some videos.
When you see that
again, I'm going to throw that at the editor. Then it'll be in the manual. How long do the batteries last?
It doesn't.
I bet it's a few hours. No. Actually, I'm going to get this right out off the bat.
Oh shit! No.
Does your internet bill keep getting higher? That's because promo price.
Shut up. That fucking scene again.
Pod noodle.
God.
Is that what
No,
you're
like, isn't that a Panda Express or something? Or pot noodle?
Oh man.
So
It's a pod noodle.
Express. Oh, I'm going to go on an invention, a train.
Right, let's talk about it. So it's a little bit like all of these amp in a box pedals. So whether it's Boss IR2 or Strymon Iridium or plethora of those kind of things.
Amp in a box, you say?
Treasure, you say?
We are plugging the guitar directly into here, and then the stereo outputs are going direct into an interface. So you're just hearing the amp models, the speaker emulation, the effects, everything is coming from this little box here. A little bit plastic.
It's not a little bit plastic.
Oh, it's a lot plastic.
When I saw it first, the pictures, I went, oh, that looks really good. You unbox it and you hand it over to me, and it's all like a little bit sort of...
Yeah, well, that's the worst thing about this. Everything here gets better. So...
apart from this, of course.
Yeah.
This is just... Unless you like and subscribe. Please don't forget that.
Like
I know you want to get on.
I want to get on.
You're so excited.
I know
about this Pod Express.
Like and subscribe. We're nearly at the 1 million subscribers now, and our marketing department have ramped up the prizes. So
I think it's the tap and the alt, and then change. Shows the middle control right here are the amp types. So there's 7 different amp types in the Pod Express. Go.
What's up everyone, welcome to Ola Testing Shit. Today I'm trying out this Line 6 Pod Express.
So let's start with taking a...
There you go. Great. So if we want to tweak this, we can just go into the amp and we have basically all of the amps right here. Whoop. I clicked off of it. All right, so we have clean, special, chime, dynamic, crunch, heavy, and lead, which is the different kinds of flavors that we have access to from the pedal itself, all right? So, chime. Let's go chime.
This is Venue 3. It knows how your 20-minute cat nap not only left you feeling more energized.
This video is sponsored by Line 6, the editor specifically designed for the Pod Express. It's now available to download from your Line 6 account on line6.com. Okay, so let's take a walkthrough of the features. Now the layout is simple enough. You can see all the effects blocks. You can select your effects from the drop-down menus for each module. So here's your distortion. You can select none or boost or overdrive or distortion. Click out of that and you will see the different
like Star
knobs.
Wars
So
or something.
let's turn on the
Gotta jump out. So what do I do?
distortion block, and there it is. You can grab the virtual knob with your mouse and move it around. Now look at the overhead cam for the rig. You can see that the app responds to the pedal assignments or the foot switch assignments. And then the presets are here on the left side. So just double click on the preset name and that will change. Okay, chime, dynamic, crunch, heavy, and all that. Okay, now if you want to build a new preset, you can go to one of the empty slots, right? And then double click this part and you can type in your new preset name and hit save, and that will be saved onto the pedal. And then from here, tweak all the blocks, and after you're happy with everything, just press save again. Okay, now let's check out the other features in the desktop editor. So you can sign in to your Line 6 account right here, and then this cloud button right here checks the device's firmware. Okay, so you can either update online or you can update from a file. This Pod Express is up to date, so we are good there. And then some options for developers, you know, event logger, presentation console, access to online manuals, and so on and so forth. Then moving on to the upper right of the app, we get into tap tempo if you want to save tap tempo into your preset, or click on this gear icon right here, and that will bring out the menu options for the switches. So the top line is for your preset select. You can select between instant or load. So if you go into preset select mode, instant means it changes presets right away, like that. You can see the app moves as well. Or if you select load, then you can sort of prepare, jump to the preset you want to load next, and then hit on the Do buttons to load the preset. There you go. Okay, so the next option is for tap tempo. You can select to save it either per preset or as a global tap tempo. Now the next line is dedicated to the external control jack, which you can select either as a volume pedal or the foot switch 3 and 4, which I have set up right here. So this is actually a question asked by Music Man for Chris. So yeah, so he asks, is it possible to have the 2 external switches and still be able to add a volume pedal? Unfortunately, no. It's either, you know, the external foot switches or a volume pedal, not both. Next up is the wheel control, which is the master volume on the side of the Pod Express. And you can choose to have it control all the outputs or just the headphone out only. If you're a gig musician, set it to headphones only. That way you get full output of the pedal, regardless if that, you know, tiny little wheel, it gets jostled somewhat. Next is knob function, and that's for tweaking on the Pod Express itself. You can either choose to control amp parameters or effects parameters. Next up is the option for pedal polarity. So play around with this setting in case your volume pedal or your dual switch does not work the way you want it to. Now the next 4 drop-down menus assign the functions to our foot switches. So we start with on, right here. As you can see, it is right now set to bypass FX1, which is my distortion block. And if I go into the drop-down, you can either go bypass all, bypass effects, you know, or bypass FX1, 2, 3, or 4. And then we have the tap assign, which right now is at tap tempo, but you can also assign it to bypass any one of the other effects blocks or all of them at once. And then foot switch 3 is bypass FX2, and you can also set it to like next preset, right? Try that, and then FS4, let's assign it to previous preset. So now, instead of going to preset mode by double tapping the main foot switches, I can, you know, go through the presets using the external foot switch, up and down. Now this brings me to another question from @Maripido. Can you assign presets to each button? Unfortunately not. You can only assign the external foot switch to be up and down presets, to scroll through the different presets. You can't assign a specific preset to each button. And that's just the limitation of the Pod Express. What I would do to access all the presets is I would just assign the external switches to, bypass specific effects blocks, and then go into preset mode using the two main switches. And with the load option in preset select, I can just go to the preset that I want and press both buttons to load the preset when I need it. So there. Now the final drop-down menu is for the USB trim. This controls the output of the USB-C OTG. So you can adjust the USB trim in sets of threes, either adding +3 or +6 dB, or attenuating it -3, -6, -9, or -12. Okay, next question. Does the AB switch come with it? No. So the dual foot switch that I featured in my previous Pod Express video has a link to Amazon, and that will be in the video description somewhere. No. And if you want to go with a nicer auxiliary switch, you can get the new aux standard from Barn 3. Let me show you this. So it comes with the TRS cable to connect it to your Pod Express, and this handsome little switch right here. So I think this is the premium option. However, any dual switch that are non-latching will...
Meet Jobber Copilot, your AI business coach, data analyst, and marketing expert in your back pocket. Jobber Copilot.
Do the trick. Okay. Now finally, with the editor and my overhead cam right here, let me show you how you can use the Line 6 Pod Express with a real amp. This is my friend's Cornford Harlequin. It can act as a nice pedal platform with all the effects going into the front of the amp, but it also has an effects return so that I can use the amp models on the Line 6 Pod Express, disable the cab sims, and use the power amp section of this Harlequin. Okay, so let me show you the setup. This is my preset for the front of amp setup. So I still have my gate, I still have my distortion, which I have set to a fuzz. I have my modulation, and you can see that the amp and the cab are set to none because we don't need amp modeling because we're going through a real amp. And then we have a tape delay and a spring reverb. And this is how that sounds. Okay, so let's turn off all the effects and leave the spring reverb on. So basically, I'm treating the Line 6 Pod Express as a 5-pedal pedal board that is much smaller and much more compact. So I have a gate, I have a distortion, I have a modulation, and then I have a delay, and I have a reverb. Then out of those 5 blocks, I can control 3. The distortion, the modulation, and the delay. Plus, I have another effect over the tap cancel. If I didn't do tap cancel, I can assign that switch to control, say, the spring reverb. So this is basically what I'm doing. If I needed a different rig with a different modulation, different delay type, or different distortion, I can save another preset and access that with the preset functions using the dual input. So, clean sound.
Dude, this fucking thing is sick, bro. Kill them all. Someone got me. Oh, fucking headshot, motherfuckers!
Lipat tayo, Poy. Now here's another setup for the Line 6 Pod Express with the
Wow. That gun is fucking powerful, man. Holy shit. That is insane. That gun is fucking insane. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it's over already. Fuck my. Chincheros a la verga. This is the last stream. The final stream.
Now let me show you how it sounds like.
Why is it the final stream?
Let's do.
It's not the final one. It's the final one in this apartment. Because I cannot afford this place anymore. Too rich for my blood. In Austin.
So as you can hear, it's
I don't know, maybe I'll do another one before I
it's almost like, you know, everything's like compressed and squished. Compared with none.
I'm a bird.
So like I said, we are already going through a real cab and real speaker, so we don't need any of the virtual stuff. Then from here, you know, you can build your other presets using the other amp models. So let's go with a crunchy tone. And again, turn off the cab.
Man, I love the Pod Express platform. It's really nice. I want to get the Line 6 Pod Express Black. That thing is sick. Just looks like it has even more fun stuff. Maybe lock in for a second. Try to get some kills here. Get some wins. What the fuck, man? Tricking me.
Okay, so the Line 6 Pod Express Edit app opens up all the possibilities for tweaking the Line 6 Pod Express pedal. As mentioned, the layout is very easy to navigate, easy to understand, and it pretty much offers all the functions that you need to access pretty good guitar tones on the Pod Express. The only thing that I really find somewhat annoying is how the knobs jump when, you know, using it with the trackpad. See that? It's hard to control, especially in some of the effect parameters like this. It jumps. See that? From quarter note, and then little tap of my finger, and it automatically goes to like 64th triplet. So yeah, it takes a little steady. Yeah. I wish you could just double click on, you know, the number and just now you also have the ability to import and export presets. So let's say you tweak your preset to your liking and just click export, save it onto your computer for future reference, or to save it as a gig, and then later on you can decide it for function and save it to whatever presets you like. Well then, I hope I answered the top questions about the Line 6 Pod Express and the Pod Express. Once again, thank you to Line 6 for sponsoring this video and for being such a great friend and supporter of my channel. I will have all the links to the Pod Express, to the Line 6 website, both affiliate or otherwise, in the video description. So please drop by, check them out, you can support properties, and help us keep making videos. Okay, so you're gonna like this next video, so click on it to watch, then go grab your guitar and play something. And let's go practice.
Does this look like a surprise if you use it and sudden price hikes hidden in the file?
This is not lunch. This is actually my latest mini sport. Let's go. Hi there, Perfecticaster here, and welcome to my channel. And this is my latest grab-and-go miniature pedalboard fly rig contraption, featuring the brand new Line 6 Pod Express. The Pod Express is the latest pedal from Line 6, and it features HX quality tones. 7 amps, 7 cabs, 17 effects, a USB-C OTG port that allows you to use it as an audio interface for your computer or your phone. As a power Express can take 3 batteries that way you can use this anywhere and not have to hunt down a wall outlet. But it also takes 9-volt power input that way.
Holy shit! Fucking Terminator got me, dude. There's a fucking Terminator on the loose.
This video and for sending me my very own Pod Express to show off to all you guys. And if you want to get a Pod Express,
Fucking Terminators out there. I gotta watch out. Fuck, I'm fucked. Fucking Terminator.
So please use those links to buy yours and help the channel out.
I
Thank
can't
you so
do
much
it
for your
alone.
answers. Okay, I'm gonna set things
My
up.
Terminator's
and show you
here,
guys
guys.
what exactly is happening inside this. I don't even know what to call it.
Two
latest
glowy boxes
In the
of
meantime, enjoy
glowiness.
this quick jam I put together using some of the tones I programmed in the Pod Express.
What the fuck are those Terminator motherfuckers? Where's the rest of the... Where's everyone? No shit. No! What is this music? It's just demoing that way. It's really cool that way, honestly. I think it's cool. Fuck! Motherfucker got me. God damn it. Fuck you, motherfuckers. Oh, shit, bro. One fucking shot. That's so sick.
What would you think? Well, at first, you'd be like, that has got to be some scrumptious jam. And then you'd think, he looks fantastic. Oh, so
Geico, saving people money for 85 years.
Okay, now let me walk you through what I have with this tiny little setup. I'll be using my Yamaha Pacifica Standard Plus. That way, we have access to both input and combustion. Now, first things first, I need to check my tuner. So to access my press tuner, press and hold the and that will get you tuner.
What the fuck, bro? Get my ass kicked. Oh no. Oh no.
Turn this knob to select your portion, modulation, now a lot of these effects are already set up. Hold down the off button, and then now you can
Oh, fucking shot by the Terminator again. Ah!
Now here's a tweaking tip for the Pod Express. Adjust the ampersand when you get to the
God damn it, that motherfucking Terminator. Ah.
and if you don't hold the off button just right, you end up and from there it's a clean sound. Slightly dirtier. More dirt. Even more dirt. Dirtier. And dirty. And that disables the amp.
Fuck.
The Pod Express is also
2 shots to the dome.
go into reset mode, press
It's
both
over
buttons at the
anyways.
same time, and you will realize the color. In fact, we have 21 presets available to save on the Pod Express. The first bag is all white LEDs, and turn the order that steps you through the different presets.
Dude, just the amount of firepower with these things is insane. Like, it's endless. That's fucking insane,
Now
bro.
the entire
So
white
much
bank, the
power.
first 7 slots are populated with factory presets, and they correspond to the amp models available. So this is the factory clean preset. Factory special. Factory chime. Factory dynamic. launch. Factory heavy.
You know what? What's the shot? What
Finally.
do they have? I want that. Terminator. Skeleton. Iron Man. That's cool. Oh man, I gotta go back and check it out.
Now this is a great starting point to build your presets. Select the kind of tone that you want. Let's say, let's go for chime. And then get out of preset mode and start tuning the knobs to your heart's content. So I'm gonna turn all the knobs down first, and then listen to the tone. That's already a nice basic amp tone that I can work with using my Pacifica. So Line 6 did a pretty good job getting
Damn it.
presets in a nice tone ballpark. LED lights now indicate where you're at as far as gain goes. Okay, I'll go. Now let's start with reverb.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And then I want a stereo.
I like that. Oh, dude, choppy as fuck.
Ah, there it is. Ping pong. Yeah, that's good. Adjust the intensity, not too much.
They call you crazy.
Some internet providers claim they offer gigabit speeds, but here's the catch. They're is that really gigabit internet? Google Fiber gives you symmetrical speeds. Uploads are as fast as downloads. Level up your internet today at fiber.google.com.
Okay, I'll go with that. Then now let's add modulation. One. Okay, now the embedded equipment, I want to turn this up even further. Let's add in a bit of distortion. So you can choose between boost, overdrive, or go with boost.
Anything else more interesting on the internet? Anybody see Thunderbolts yet? It was okay. To be honest, kind of boring. A few days away from financial crisis. Get out of here, Chris saying. This guy's a YouTube head options trader. I've been trying to trade options and I fucking lost out big recently. Not gonna lie.
What's up, YouTube? Listen, family, it's Sunday night. If you're ready to make some money this upcoming week, let me know down in the comments.
How can I do that?
Guys, I got a jam-packed video. I'm going to teach you guys about a stop loss, how to properly place it when some particular promotion is happening so you can protect yourself. And then I'm going to teach you guys locally jam-packed videos. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Help the video get at least 1,000 likes. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into
Where the fuck did that
it.
come from?
Before I jump into the stop loss on today,
Asshole.
alright, we want to quickly look at the SPY. So we're sitting at 264. Remember this price because we're going to talk about rotation at 264.80. Now let's go ahead and look at really quickly. Let's go ahead and pull up STHD. We are going to
See that motherfucker over there? Where'd you go, bitch?
Okay, you have to know how to protect your profits. All right.
Oh, I hear it. It sounds like farting from.
You're not having any parameters in place. Okay, so let's look at this.
Got him.
1,000.
Got the motherfucker.
Average cost. So although this has been down how much in the last month? It's been down over 4.5% in the last month, over 5% in the last 3 months. So look at this. Look at this big dip right here. It's down to 24.32. Alright, so let's go back and look at this. Coach's average cost is 24.68. You don't get down on yourself. This is a chance to really buy more. Okay, the current price is $25.92. We're still up 5%, which ain't bad. Ain't bad at that. Okay, but here's the thing: I'm not selling this, but I want to keep you. You have trades that are. You have plays that's going to go through earnings. If you have Netflix, if you have Meta, if you have any of our winning plays that has took your profits up. Okay. You want to do this across all your plays. Go to trade. You want to hit sell. Okay, we're not selling nothing, but we're going to keep. You want to have a limit. You can even put a stop limit or put a stop limit. Look at this. So, say this comes to. You guys saw my average cost was 24. Okay, say this comes to 20, let's just say 23, 40. Okay, let's say this was our stop. I'll make sure. What is that? You want to have it on for a duration, so even if you forget about it, it still holds. Don't go down like everybody else. It doesn't go down like the same thing everybody else does. But my plays, all the plays I saw, y'all say hit. When they do come back down, I'm always ahead. Okay, even when things are good, I start.
Fuck. Surrounded.
I have 1,500 shares. So say I was using 750. Now look at this. When if it comes to 2340, I'm gonna make sure I lost it small. But look, if it comes to 2340, let me know if you follow it. But if it comes to 2240 or 2140, dry powder now. I got my money, my profits, okay, or a small loss, however you want to look at it. We're not looking at it as a loss. I can now rebuy it. Now it's going to bring my average price down. What do we know about the stock market? What do we know about one of the best plays and the best ETFs in the market? That's okay. So if you do that, then you already know, boom. I got it now at $20. So if you get back to 23, 24, or 25,
Fuck.
or the
Motherfucker.
let me know if this is understood. You buy whatever you buy, you try to get a good amount. You sell, just redeploy it at a lower price when the stock price falls down. You know it's gonna go back up and up. You take 2 steps back to go 3 steps higher.
Fuck. I can't even see where it's coming from, really.
Getting up out of here. Okay, now we're gonna transition to location. Okay, guys, we're gonna pop out the chart.
Oh, come on.
For the SPY. Remember I told you guys, look at the SPY. It was 564. Okay. Pull it up. I want you guys to see how this goes. Alright. So boom.
Whoa. What the fuck is that? The fuck was that?
We're gonna call that S1, okay? So you see this black line right here? This is our target for this week. They're telling us that 5, 7, 3. So this is okay, we got S1, we got R1, we got 5, 4, we got 6, 4, we got that we're gonna just say 550. So here it is. 573.
Getting moited. Straight moited.
So from here, it's just a down,
Dude, they're just straight up killing me, bro. I don't even stand a chance. I don't even stand a chance. I'm just like, this is young. Couldn't even get the gun off, bro. Couldn't even get the gun off. Let's just get my ass. It's over. It's over. I want to look at the new skins and see if there's anything. I want that Terminator skin.
Understand where you're at in terms of location. We're gonna keep that 564 there, and I want you to see everything else. If this was support, if this was resistance, you see this box right here. You're right here. Okay. You can play.
No, Chris saying I don't.
Range in here. Now I gotta clean this up so you guys can see what it would look like. So currently.
Fucking bored. What?
Skylight Calendar is the perfect Mother's Day gift, and it really makes me feel seen. No more missing appointments or confusion with my partner. Responsibility just isn't on me. Everyone knows what's going on.
What?
and
Did
is in
I
charge
pick
of
one
their
already?
own. The kids check it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ola Testing. Today I'm trying out the new Pod Express Black.
Can you get him? Oh shit.
Black is the latest addition to the Pod series, especially catered to people like me, the metal guy. And before I start talking about it, I just want to clarify that Line 6 did send me this unit for free, so in that sense, this video is sponsored. But I will talk about my opinions in regards to this unit. Line 6 released their first Pod Express unit a couple of months back. I made a video of it, and you can watch it up here. This Pod Express Black is catered towards the metal guy, and it contains 7 different amplifier models: PRS Archon, the Orange Rocket Verb, Diesel VH4, Rev Generator, Sun model, and it's also Line 6 well-known Badonk. With that, you're also getting 7 different cabinets to choose from. You also get a variety of overdrives and distortions, effects like compression, modulation, delay, reverb, looper, and so on and so forth. All of these things can be adjusted and worked on the unit itself, but thank goodness for evolution, because now there's a Pod Express editor for your computer. So if you're terrible at understanding how things work when you're like fiddling around the simplest things, the editor just saves me a lot of trouble, okay? It has stereo output, so some of the effects are stereo. You also have an extra input for an additional foot switch or expression pedal, USB-C connection to use the unit as an audio interface or connected computer editor, headphone output at design, as well as the overall volume. One of the coolest things about these Pod Express units is that you can run them on AA batteries. So this one takes 3 AA batteries, and I'm a fan of this. The unit itself is made of plastic, but it feels okay. And it being of plastic contributes to lighter weight. And lighter weight is nice. However, can I stomp? Like really like frickin' stomp this thing? I'm gonna try that out later. How hard can I stomp on it? On the front panel, you have the knobs to dial and change everything. You have the amplifier model right there. You have gauge, bass, mids, treble, mod, delay, reverb, boost, and all of that. By holding the alt button, you get the secondary mode, which is gate, mid, bass, and treble, while if you don't hold it, it's distortion, boost, modulation, delay, and reverb. All right, I have the editor open. It's time to play a little piece of mine that I made. This is called Chunkorama, and it's based on the Anvil. What was that again? The Anvil is the Line 6 Badonk amp model. Like I said, it's just really nice to have the editor, so I can have more of a visual of, all the different parts of the tone right here. So first we have a distortion. I'm not using a distortion right now. I'm using a boost. Just like a boost going in. Shut off. Boost. Pretty nice. then we have the 7 different cabinets. Let's just go through them all. This is a 1 by 12 cabinet. Okay, quite well. Guess that's an orange, some mandarin. Now we need 30 XSL. Uber. Then 4 by 12 feedback. Here's the next preset. It's based on the Mega, which is the Diesel VH4. Here you also have a second page. It seems like what is happening. I think the editor is not perfect because nothing is happening. Because if I load up here, like, okay, say I load up a delay, you get a second page right here. That would be good, but it's not doing anything. I think maybe second page will be the last, but here's not working. Here it is working. So the editor is not perfect, but you know, I'm pretty sure they're working on it. Okay. Okay, let me adjust it here then. So I have digital delay right here. I can. Okay, cool. Here's that clean. This stanky amplifier right here. Based on the PRS model, okay? A lot of gain right there. What if I use a boost instead? Let's see. Add some modulation. For us.
Where's everyone?
And that added a little bit of stereo effect to it right there. Let's see, then we have reverb, digital, let's see. And Hall. And here, I'm not sure if the delay is stereo or not. I don't think it is actually. At least not the digital delay. Like, okay. Okay, there is a spread. Slight spread.
Got him.
Hell yeah. So in conclusion, I think for the price, this Pod Express Black is an excellent product. For someone that doesn't want something quick, line 6 definitely owns this range. The tones and the effects are great, but in my opinion, I think it's the form factor is just
They broke him out of here.
I would say that's more like wishful thinking, you know, for a small, inexpensive unit like this. I mean, it's not meant to be that giant supermodel like or the Helix Star. This is supposed to be the watered down version for the guy.
Oof, who got me? Who did the fucking thing?
So that's it. That's the Pod Express Black for you right there.
I need to smoke some more weed.
Also, shit, I need to stop on this thing and see if it can handle my big fat stops. So that's gonna happen right now.
Oh my god. Someone shot me. Shot me in the back. Oh. Got me. Vader versus the Mandalorian.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ola Testing Shit. Today I'm trying out the Conex 1.
Ah, come on. He's hiding right there, you motherfucker. I'm gonna get you. Come on. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now there's
Just quartering them to the head.
Look at that. They put a frickin' modeler into this micro pedal right there. So in comparison to the bigger Conex unit, this is a little bit more simple. Obviously, you can't fit everything onto a small micro pedal like this. But connected to a computer with a USB, you have the same possibilities like with the bigger Conex unit. There's two different modes. You have dual amp models, which switches between two different amplifiers or in your case, maybe an overdrive, who knows? Or you have the stop box mode where you basically shut on and off the pedal. So depending on your application, maybe you have your favorite overdrive being modeled by the Conex. You can have that in front of your amplifier and you just have an on and off button. That's what I really like about the modeling technique, because you can decide to model just maybe a stop box, an overdrive or a distortion pedal, amplifier and cabinet, or a full rig with an overdrive amplifier cabinet, even without the cabinet. So, the possibilities are endless depending on what type of setup you need and, what you use. Layout is incredibly simple. You have bass, mid, treble, you have a volume right there, and if you push the alt button, you have gate, compressor, reverb, and gain right there. So now, when it
Damn it, it's not letting me go to the shop. There we go.
if you hold the Alt button for 3 seconds, it will go into like a lock mode. So whatever happens here, if you're like a complete noob, you know, it's not going to change the settings of your profile right there or your modeling. And then you can also shut
Iron Man,
on and off
that's
cabinets in this
sick.
thing
I
as
want
well.
that.
But I would recommend using the Tonix app to control everything with this, and then you bring it
Ant-Man,
afterwards.
that's pretty
But
cool.
just saying, you can control a lot of things
Ooh,
on the pedal itself.
nice. What the fuck?
You can power this pedal using a 9-volt, or you can do like I'm doing right here, just plug it into USB. And
That is sick looking. The Winter
If you have it
Soldier.
to your Mac or PC, you can access all the settings
White
using the
Widow.
Tonix app in the librarian section right here. This section right here is the pedal itself, and then
That's
you have the
pretty
presets
cool.
in the app that you can load into to the pedal. I forgot to mention, but it can hold 20 different presets in this thing, and you can switch them yourself. It was a little bit tricky for me. I managed to get it to work, but it's just easier for me to, you know, do it in the app instead. Right now I'm using my capture or my
Dude, that's
models
pretty
that I did
cool.
on my
They've
Mesa
got
Boogie Bad
Chaplin
Lab,
in the
a couple of
game.
videos
No.
ago, using my Mesa Boogie oversized cabinet.
That's
So
fucking
there's nothing
wild.
added to this. It's just my guitar going
That's
into
pretty
this
cool. I
small
like that.
micro pedal right there into my audio interface.
I would want this one. This one's pretty
Say I
cool.
want to add reverb now. I press this button right there.
Winter Soldier. How much do I have? 19? 1950. Oh man.
Pretty cool, huh? So down with that. Like I
How much
said,
is the
once gate-
Iron Man?
There is a gate on.
It's 2,000. I'm just short.
Then I go back. We have treble, mid, and bass.
Arc counter. Iron sledge. Fucking Iron Legion. That would be so sick. Customize your Iron Man.
Want to change the game?
Alpha. That looks so cool. Oh shit, Prime, like Metroid Prime. That looks sick.
What? You know, the sound itself, I'm used to because, you know, most of my plugins and
Classic.
modelers and all that, it
Oh
sounds like this. It sounds
shit.
good. The weird thing is that
Red
that's
and
it.
gold.
That's the
Color.
thing giving that sound.
Model
It's
42.
this
That
fun,
looks so
man.
cool.
So right now we're in dual mode, so if I press this button, it should change to the
Wow,
second
I
amplifier,
like
which is here,
that.
the B, which is my Synergy 2 C+, and I think it's the Synergy 2 C+ into my Mesa Boogie Bad
That
Lander.
looks so
So it's another
neat.
preamp that the other preset.
Damn, I want it. I'm only like 50 short. What the fuck?
Okay, let me adjust the gain.
I don't want 1,000. I just need a little. Ah. Hulk. No quiere ir. Sky.
Dude, I'm just thinking about the possibilities right here. Okay, so say you have a pedal board. You have a pedal board with your favorite pedals on it, and you're like, well, I just want to remove my amplifier. My amplifier is just, you know, one sound, and everything goes in and out of that. I mean, just replace your amplifier with this. Or even, another setup would be like, okay, I want to change out my overdrives to 2 different ones. You can bring this instead. Just
What
to
the
replace
fuck?
Your tube screaming or your metal song or something like that.
Man, I might
it's
go with the
incredible.
Winter Soldier.
Or you can just use it as a full-blown model. The only thing is that it doesn't have any effects
He's
other
got
than
spare
reverb and compression. So it's not
Looks
a
pretty cool.
full-fledged multi-effect in that sense. So you would need to add like a delay or something else afterwards. But I mean, come on. let's do Cali Green. I just drag a preset in here. Overwrite.
And Chapulín.
Right? And here I can see all the presets. So everything that everyone uploaded to the Tone Cloud or ToneNet, it's called. Okay, not Tone Cloud. The ToneNet is available. You just find it down here and you just drag and drop it into this section, which is the pedal, the hardware. So this is the software. Here's the hardware. So let's try Twin right here. I just drag it like that. Simple as that.
Mouse locker. What the fuck?
How cool.
Shit, man.
Reverb. And then let's go meld. Or I get so many application ideas for this. What if you have two Tonix 1 after each other? And you can have like 4 different amplifiers. Or even use one as a dual overdrive and then the other one as an amplifier. My God. No, but I am actually genuinely excited about this because, you know, it's just, dude, this is the Tonix capture I did on my Friedman JJ Jr. and the oversized camera. I want to test something. I want to plug in a real overdrive into this thing and see how it responds to that. Technically, if it goes well, then it goes well. All right, so Ibanez Tube Screamer, an old classic TS9. All right, let's go. Like that. Okay, let me adjust the gain. This is without. With. Dude. Now we're on the Mesa Boogie Badlander again.
I want to play this one.
I'm actually genuinely excited about this. I'm not completely sure where I would use something like this myself if it would replace, you know, an amplifier or something like that. But in a pedal board or a small pedal board, you know, for short tours or like flying gigs, dude, let's go with this. Oh, it's also an audio interface, of course, because nowadays all of these small things are audio interfaces. So you can just plug in your input into here and then you record directly through this USB cable. And then it's $179 and euros, which basically puts it at the same price as the Line 6 Pod Express and the Boss IR2. So which one out of those would you get now? I mean, I think you have to think about your application. What do you need? You know,
Failure.
You need all the effects and, you know, a lot of mumbo jumbo and all that. Line 6 Pod Express, absolutely.
$13. Let me go ahead and
only, maybe, and something simple. The Boss IR2. But if you want to be able to bring in your own captures of your own stuff and bring in, you know, or even import others, you know, you can get my profiles on the ToneEdit thingy, you know, and bring it with. I think that's incredible. And for the price, $179, dude,
for $13.
This is a steal, in my opinion. If I can get a tube amplifier sound for $179, that, dude, that's a great price right there. So there you go. Holy shit, the Tonix 1, man. Holy I feel so spoiled being in this generation right now, having stuff like this. So there you go. That's my little demo of the Tonix 1 for you right there. If you like this video, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. You can get merch from olaenglandshop.com. Have a nice day. Goodbye. I want to mention that IK Multimedia sent me this unit for free for me to demo, for the purpose of this demo. But it won't affect what I think about the product. I will always stay completely honest to the audience. If I like a product or not, you will definitely tell. I will definitely say. But, dude, I'm buying this. I'm buying this. I might buy two, actually.
Alright, so I'm gonna purchase RoboCop. I want to play this game. I've been wanting to play it.
Does your internet bill keep getting higher? That's because promo pricing is full of surprises. At Google Fiber, there's no install fees, no nonsense. It's the same price every month. Visit fiber.google.com to get the same price we've offered since 2012.
All right. Neato. I've got RoboCop Rogue City. That's so sick. I am happy. Yay. That's so awesome. RoboCop Rogue City. Let's go. And I'll be able to get the add-on pack that's coming out soon. This is going to be so neat. There's an 8 here in a little bit. Whoa. Make another sandwich, probably.
Everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to try to do this as quickly.
You give us 3 minutes, and we give you the world. Good evening. I'm Casey Wong. A military submarine that went missing over 3 years ago has suddenly reappeared in the Baltic Sea. Confused seamen mistakenly opened fire on the last Lapland reservation, killing 12. Thankfully, our homesick sailors are back on U.S. soil. Welcome back, boys. In local news, a new crime wave that is sweeping Detroit has already claimed the lives of 21 police officers. Here's a statement from the head of OCP.
Whoops.
Out, an OCP holds the scalpel.
According to our sources, the attacks were aimed at catching the attention of a man whose identity remains unknown. This dangerous new guy in town seems to have his eye on doing business in old Detroit.
Your filthy hands off me. Shut
I'm sorry. There seems to be a
Disturbance? I'm a big fan. Now move. Don't adjust your television sets. Your regularly scheduled program will be back shortly. Now, this message goes out to the new guy in town. It seems that you're looking to spend some money in this great city of ours.
I gotta use the
I'm
restroom
here to
and do
tell
other
you
stuff real
that
quick.
the torch heads are open for business. You may have heard of us as the #1 supplier of nuke in old Detroit. The most potent, addictive drug available in front of every convenience store, school, or library near you. But that's not all we're capable of. Let's get you up here. We'll get Officer Howard to illustrate the point. You see, Officer Howard made a drug bust that cost us a lot of money. We want to reward this dutiful officer with a performance bonus. A lifetime supply of nuke. Oh man, you're gonna have the time of your life. There you go. Enjoy. New guy, us torch heads are more than capable of doing whatever you need done in our city. So what is it, huh? Arson, smuggling, drug dealing, good old-fashioned murder. We do it all. You've got the money, we've got the power. So let's talk.
Good to see you, Murphy. Lieutenant's at the main entrance to the TV station.
Time to report to the lieutenant. What's up, Lieutenant? Are you a lieutenant? Not gonna lie. Kind of looks like the dude from the original movie. Oh, shit, what the fuck happened?
The ground's shaking. Judgment Day is here.
Ew. Freaking bugs everywhere.
Hey, handsome, we're here for the show. Go get him, Robo.
They came out of the trucks and they just started shooting at anything that moved.
I wouldn't bother. I already ran the plates.
You should know by now when it comes.
If it keeps on like this, we're gonna run short of body bags. I'm gonna give you 10 milligrams of diazepam to make you comfortable.
We can't wait any longer. Those trigger-happy maniacs have a ton of hostages. But sir... Roger that. Over and out.
What is the situation?
Goddamn OCP tells us to stand down till SWAT arrives. That's our situation.
Looks like I'm on the way out.
Not so fast, buddy. Who do you think is gonna clean up this place? I'm not letting you off that easily.
You sound just like my wife.
If that's the case, let's get you patched up. We wouldn't want to get on her bad side. Press here. Medic!
Some of the story aspects for this are like kind of hokey or kind of wooden.
What the hell is going on up there?
Sorry, dude. The police want us to release the hostages. So no hard feelings.
Allah.
Hey! You can't go in yet. We need to wait for the reinforcements.
Reinforcements have arrived.
I knew you'd say something like that.
We need to find another way. It is too dangerous to cross.
For me. But you can take the heat. Go. I'll figure something out. Besides, you can do it with a head start. Go on.
I'm not totally convinced with the new modern and massive Gekka drums.
I've got a secret ring. How much do you think I
Drum
can get
plugin,
for it?
drum
Is it gold?
stuff. I just think it's like not. How much more drum plugins do we need in the world, to be honest, man? Like, we got so many.
Guys,
Kick butt coffee.
we've got company. Anyone expecting a silver freak?
Drop it, scum.
Drop it, scum.
Let's give him a warm welcome.
Shouldn't get my ass kicked. Hell yeah. Moving on some fucking walls and shit. I just got my ass kicked. Nice. I think I remember this stage. Oh shit. Did he like blow off his arm or something?
Warning. All personnel, evacuate immediately.
Worried about the weight limit?
Lewis, you're here.
We need to get these elevators back online. The service box is in the basement.
Let me.
I doubt you had time between all the heroics, but I got a key card from the janitor. It's good to do some real street work from time to time, you know? After you. They sabotaged the elevators and staircase too. They obviously don't want to be disturbed.
That graffiti is fresh.
I bet some of those idiots are still here.
Watch out! He's coming! We can...
I will keep them coming.
What a warm welcome, don't you think? Murphy. It's that service box, isn't it? Hey, why don't you check it out?
I am detecting a short circuit. We need to isolate the cables.
I think I've got something just for that.
You are very resourceful.
Thanks, but I'd say it was a team effort. They're holding everyone in the studio. It's on the 30th floor.
So, our friends in blue finally decided to join our glamorous show. I'm afraid you're too late for my autograph. Chopper's ready. I've got to go, but the party goes on. Guys, make sure you provide all our guests with a decent amount of amusement, so don't skimp on the nuke. See ya.
What a freaking psycho. We need to be quick before they kill anyone else. I know that look, Murphy. You saw something, didn't you?
We are here to enforce the law, Lewis. Let us stay focused.
Right. Just keep in mind that I'm here if you need me, partner.
Slime bags detected.
Just look at that, boys! The police dog and its bitch!
Not sure which one is which.
You're gonna take that back.
Why does cooking for one feel like half the meal, but twice the cleaning? Let me show you how.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to the channel for this special Thunderbolts open spoiler discussion. Now, in case the title was not clear enough for you, we are going to be discussing the new Marvel film Thunderbolts in open spoilery detail. So if you do not know what happens in Thunderbolts, if you have not seen Thunderbolts yet, if you don't want to know what happens in Thunderbolts, this is not going to be a safe place for you. You should probably just add this video to your watch later list or something and come on back a little bit later and check it out then. For now, my name is John Campia. Good to have you guys here. And, you know, I went to go see Thunderbolts again for a second time yesterday. Ann and I went to go see it for a second time. Completely sold out IMAX. There's only a single seats left, and we were lucky to find one seat in front of the other. Like I was in row L, and she was in row M. So we saw it in an IMAX screen. It was sold out. They originally projected this movie would make 50 to 55 million opening. I ended up, it started going a little bit. I made the final prediction that it would have a $60 million opening. I think it made like a $75 million opening, something like that. So anyway, a $75 million opening for a struggling MCU with a bunch of C-list characters that have already just been C-list in other movies is rather remarkable, but we'll talk about that on the Sean Campbell Show tomorrow. Today, we are here to talk about Thunderbolts and the movie itself, and how we felt about it, what we thought about it, all the different spoilery details. We're going to spend the vast majority of our time taking your comments and questions and observations about the movie. If you have a thought, theory, observation, whatever that you'd like to send in, use the Super Chat feature. The Super Chats are currently open, but I will be turning them off sometime relatively soon. We already have an awful lot of them in there. But if you have a thought theory, if you question you want to get in, go ahead and send it on in. As long as I deem it appropriate to be addressed on the show, we'll address it here on the show. All right, just let me touch on a couple of things. Yeah, I already did my out of the theater reaction. But let me give it a couple of things. And we're talking more reviewish of the John Game show tomorrow when we get Chris and Bob as well. I loved the movie. I loved it. Like, I don't think this movie, I don't want to overhype it because I don't think Thunderbolts is top tier MCU. You know, the top 5 or 6 best MCU movies ever. I don't think it's in that category. But I put it in the next category down. I put it in there with the likes of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I put it in there with the likes of the first Doctor Strange. I put it in there with the likes of, well, a number of others just that like are great, wonderful MCU movies. And especially in the recent couple of years, coming off of films like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, or the recent quite disappointing Captain America: Brave New World, this movie was a breath of fresh air. This was just wonderful. It had action when it needed action, but it had one of those things. I say this about very few Marvel movies. I probably have only said this about 4 or 5 Marvel movies in general. It wasn't just a good comic book movie. It was a good movie. Like, Thunderbolts isn't just a good comic book. And there's some comic book movies that I absolutely naturally love, but they're great comic book movies, not necessarily great movies when you remove all the comic book ness out of them. But I think Thunderbolts is one of those ones that's a great movie. It's just a great movie. Like, take out the Marvel aspects and all that kind of stuff. I think it's just a great movie with really great characters, real human experiences, touching on things that are very day-to-day for a lot of people, struggling with that darkness, struggling with depression, struggling with loneliness. I thought it handled it in a great and yet somehow entertaining way for it, which I just thought was fantastic. And then there was action to be had, whether it's Bucky taking out the Hunters, or whether it's, Elena is going and taking out a bunch of guards, whether it's the Thunderbolts fighting themselves,
Dude,
whether
I did
it's
not make
Bob
it, I don't think.
doing his
Thank God
sentry
you've come.
thing.
This
Like,
lady
whatever
really
it is,
needs to see a
I just
doctor.
thought all the action worked. I mean, it wasn't top-notch Marvel action sequences, but it was really
Why don't
good.
you go ahead? I'll
I
stay
thought
with
the
them.
humor when they used it was perfect. Like, I love the fact.
This is Lewis.
You know what I really
We
love?
have rescued
One of
3
my
hostages.
most
One with a
unsung
gunshot
favorite
wound to the
characters in the
abdomen.
MCU is turning
Requesting
into Red
urgent
Guardian.
medical assistance. Over.
And I love the fact that Red Guardian can go from one moment saying something really humorous, and then in the next moment be a dad. Did you notice that in the film? Like, he could give a yuck yuck line, but he wasn't overall a yuck yuck character. He'd give a yuck yuck line, and then all of a sudden, whether he's talking to Elena in his kitchen or whether he's talking to her on the street as everything's going crazy, that character, they wrote him in such a way that he could go from saying something hilarious to then saying something really emotionally touching. And I mean, just that one time he says that line, when he says, "I didn't think you wanted me." I know dads are like that. I have friends who are dads, and they often feel like their kids don't want any part of them. And that's how people feel. And when he says, I didn't think you wanted me. I'm calling you, you'd feel like I was like dads feel that way. I felt emotional at that line when I saw it in the context of the movie. I felt broke.
Give him hell!
And then we see in the okay, yeah, that was
Oh, I took off his fucking head.
All that kind of stuff. Now,
Oh no, that was his
look,
mask.
how do I feel
That was just his mask. I
about
thought it
the
was his head.
Astros?
It looked crazy.
The new Avengers. the CIA. She's not the president. She's not the Secretary of State. Like, who gives Valentina the authority to stand there and go, I proclaim these people the new Avengers? She doesn't have, who gave her that authority? She doesn't have that authority. So I felt like that was a little bit.
That was horrible.
And I'm sure you guys will cover anything I was going to say. So let's just get right to it. And we'll go in and start off here with the thing that really got me about this movie was the pure emotion. You know, the depression, but also when she says that line, which if I read that line on a script, Daddy, I'm so alone, I would have thought that seems cheesy. But the way Florence Pugh great playing the snarky badass. Got lost right now. Like just I also think it would be very odd for, you know, a guy like, for them to proclaim the new Avengers and have a guy like Walker, who is a character I'm starting to like a lot. But like, again, he was filmed nationwide having a rage fit and murdering an innocent man in the streets, and humiliated, and he gets to be an Avenger. Or, like, Ghost literally murdered somebody in this movie. Now, granted, she was kind of tricked into doing it by Valentina. But regardless, I don't care if my boss tells me to go up and shoot somebody in the head. She, like, literally murdered. She just snuck up and shot Taskmaster in the head. And dead. And really? A Russian... Again, Red Guardian's one of my favorite characters in the MCU. But a Russian government op is now in the Avengers? Okay, I thought like they kind of rushed that. Because there was nothing in the movie ever that ever suggested they were looking at this group as a potential replacement for the Avengers or whatever. It was just like the movie all happens, and in the last minute of the movie, Valentina looks at them weird and says, ladies and gentlemen, the new Avengers! And they're like, and then they just become the new Avengers. Whatever. They got to the end line. It sets up an interesting thing with the same. Listen, I'll tell you this right now. I am far more interested, and I am far more invested in this Avengers team than I am. I don't give a shit about his new Falcon. I mean, Simu Liu might be on his team, and that's I mean, but as of right now, if I had to pick which team Avengers I'm on the Thunderbolts team Avengers.
Sure thing, Mom.
I am.
What are we having?
But that's just me. All right. Next up, we go Al writes Thunderbolts or James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Whoa.
Do I really have to?
I put those two on the same tier. I thought James Gunn's Suicide Squad was magnificent. Again, not the best, but I thought it was absolutely wonderful. It's kind of the same way I feel about this one for different reasons. They're two very different
What
movies.
about Dad? Is he gonna be back for dinner?
They approach things differently. Their stories are very different. But I would say that I like this one every bit as much as I like James Gunn's Suicide Squad. You know how much I love that. All right, next up. Logan Sloan sends in a $50 super chat. Logan, thank you so much, man. Thank you for supporting us on that level, dude. And Logan writes, theory about the post-credit scene, and maybe it's a stretch. little Reed Richards joke there. But what if it's not the Fantastic Four in that ride? And instead, it's
I'm
Dr.
not
Doom.
sure if I like the
And
pattern.
how he wound up in that rocket is explained by the end of Fantastic
James really
Four.
looks up to you.
Again, maybe silly,
He said in
but it's
school
fun to
that he
theorize.
wants to be a
Listen, I
police
don't think
officer,
me and a
just
friend
like
of
his
mine
dad.
we were talking about, like, what if it's Dr. Doom in there? Now, the reason I'm going to guess it's not Dr. Doom in there, and it could be, but is that I don't think it's going to be Fantastic Four at all. I think it's most likely that it is the Fantastic Four. Could be, but I think it is most likely that it is the Fantastic Four. Not to mention, when the rocket comes up on screen, even before they put the rocket on screen, they start playing the Fantastic Four music. You know, all that kind of stuff. So I think it is going to end up.
No sudden moves, cop!
Fantastic
I'm
Four
not
themselves
dying
and
here!
Rocket, but
Get
again,
me another one of those
it
choppers!
could be Doom.
Like the one that took Soot!
But the only
You
reason
hear me?
I'm guessing it's not is because
You work so
I don't
hard,
think Doom's
honey.
even in
Why don't you
Fantastic
take
Four.
some leave?
So
We
that
all
would be
could
kind of
use a little
weird,
break from this reality, don't you think?
For him to be in there.
Wakey, wakey! I'm talking to you, Shiny! Stand back from that
We'll find
door,
out, though.
or I'll shoot her!
Logan, again,
I swear
thank
to
you so much
nuke!
for supporting us on that
I
level,
don't know
dude.
what I would
Appreciate
do
that
if I
very,
ever
very
lost
much.
you.
And
You
let's
got
see
3
if
seconds!
we find out if your
3!
is right or not.
Our family is the only thing I
Next
need
up.
to be happy.
2! Are you fucking deaf?
I've seen it 3 times so far, and each showing people gas.
1! Last chance, weirdo!
I love you so much, Alice.
I was one of them. When that was so perfectly directed, that was so perfectly
okay there,
set
Murphy?
up. Red Guardian rushes in there, saves the girl, and goes, "You are all right, little one," or whatever it was he says. And then, boom. And she's voided. I don't know what else to call it. I like
What
that
does it
phrase,
want?
voided.
Get it away from me!
I was like, damn! Like I'm in the movie theater. I'm like, damn! Like, oh
Can you
my,
see?
they
It's
just killed
unstable.
the little
Ma'am,
girl.
please calm down.
Like, right when
It's
you
been
say
a
that
very
you wanna
tough
feel
evening, and I assure you that
deflated.
everyone wants to be back home with their families.
You know, in sports, there's like times
Though
where
for
you
some of us, the night has just begun.
deflate another team, totally discourage another team. Where, like, yay, we just hit this big 3-pointer, and we're right back. Oh, then you just came down and shot. Right? It's like, yes, we're doing it. We're saving people. Boom. And I was like, oh my god. Like, yeah, that got me, dude. That really did get me. All right, next up, we got John K. who writes, love the movie. I understand why they didn't show it in the movie, but I'd love a YouTube/Disney Plus extra thing showing the rest of the team's void rooms. You know, it's funny because Ann and I think it was the second time we walked out of the movie, we said, you know, what did their void look like?
Everyone is dismissed.
I thought about
Lewis,
that, and
I need
would I be
your report on
interested
the
in
TV
it?
station incident.
Sure.
On the double.
But was it
On it, Sarge.
necessary to take up more screen time? I don't think it was. We got the point.
God damn it, when will
Because
this
we
be
saw
fixed?
it multiple times with
Don't
Elena.
hold your breath.
We got to see it with
OCP isn't
John
looking to
Walker.
spend a dime on our equipment.
There was really, it would literally just be doing it for the sake of doing it, and I think it would have slowed the movie down. And listen, we already saw Ant-Man 2, right? We know Ghost's trauma and her past.
There's my
Red
favorite
Guardian, I'm
walking,
sure he had to
talking
do a
law
lot of
enforcement
nasty
machine.
stuff for his government.
Okay, let's get on with it.
So, would it have been interesting to see it? Yes. Do I think it was the right decision not to just lengthen the movie just to throw that in? Because we already know what happens. Like, we know what happens in those rooms. It wasn't necessary for the story of the movie for us to know their individual traumas that they got to revisit. We already know that they revisit their own trauma. That's all we really needed to know. And we got an illustration of it with Yelena twice, and we got an illustration of it with Walker. So I was perfectly happy, actually, that they moved on from there and didn't use that. But again, I'm not going to lie. If they drop bonus scenes on YouTube where it shows what their individual void rooms were like, I'd watch it on YouTube. For sure I would. All right. John K. also writes, separately, wonder what Spidey/Daredevil/Kingpin saw. You know, they made, a lot of people were wondering if Mayor Fisk was going to be in this movie because a part of it takes place in New York. And I said, they're not going to have Mayor Fisk. They announced a couple of years ago very quietly, and not a lot of people paid attention to it. But they kind of dropped the hints that they were going to be separating the movies from the shows a little bit more. Not creating completely separate universes or anything, but they kind of did drop the hint that they were going to be making the Disney Plus shows really more standalone. And so, yeah, even though a lot of it takes place in New York, you'd think Daredevil would be there. Wait a second, isn't this city under martial law right now? Isn't Mayor Fisk prohibiting masked vigilantes? How come when the Thunderbolts are out there, why isn't Mayor Fisk's anti-vigilante squad going in there and arresting them? We're just going to have to accept comic books tell stories separately, and they're going to probably keep that pretty separate. All right. Next up, we've got Gnome, who writes, best MCU movie since Guardians 3, in my opinion. Great writing. By the way, how awesome was the art in the credits, and the Avengers theme at the end gave me goosebumps. I don't think I like this movie more than I like Deadpool and Wolverine. But I like
my damn locker won't open.
Like,
can you try?
A totally different type of movie. That's like a straight up just action comedy.
Wait, what is all this shit doing in my locker?
I wanted you to be safe out there.
And while I don't really
you guys, very fun.
The new Avengers, having the Avengers music play with it was certainly moving. It was certainly moving and made an impact for sure. All right, next up. Raymond Verrata writes, Sam still has a lot to choose from for the Avengers, like Thor, Hulk, Shuri, Wong, Kate Bishop, Ms. Marvel, Falcon, Daredevil, Ant-Man, Shang-Chi. Oh yeah, he's got a lot. Although, it sounds kind of like Ms. Marvel is her own team. So
why do you have to spoil our fun all the time? You metal freak!
So she's obviously she's assembling her own group that she started with Kate Bishop. And so I don't think it's going to be them. But, I mean, we see Simu Liu in the pictures with Shang-Chi will probably be one of them. But you're right. He still has plenty of people to pick from. I don't think Thor is going to follow the guy who was Steve Rogers' side. To me, I think Thor officially that group of Avengers. You never know. They Raymond Verrata writes, did you get the Red Guardian helmet giveaway? I didn't even know about the Red Guardian helmet giveaway, so but I desperately want one, Raymond. Raymond, get Louis Pullman to play the Bob on Sesame Street. He would be a good Bob on Sesame Street. I miss Bob. All right, Andy writes, didn't know Tulsa Gabbard was I can't believe he leaked Century Plan and Ops. By the way, I don't know who she is. Is that the girl who played Valentina's assistant? She was in. If that's who we're talking about, I don't know if. There that I do like. That's really good. Something along the lines of, we can either be good or we can change. Mindset. After we can't be both.
Damn.
Very surprising. Now I understand her motive and her character a bit
Not
more.
that great.
That's
I wasn't that great at that.
Yeah, when she says, I mean, she has a couple of great lines there. One, she says, what is it? Righteousness without power is just an opinion. That's a powerful line. You can agree with it or disagree with it, but it's a powerful statement nonetheless. Righteousness without power is just an opinion. I thought that was really good. And the whole line of there's bad guy and there's the worst guy. And that's not unique to Valentina. We've heard other characters' movies echo a similar sentiment, right? Like it's sometimes it's choosing the lesser of two evils, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I love the fact I loved the fact that we got to see a bit of her background trauma.
That's a nasty scar.
Humanizes her.
I'd like to see the other guy. Am I right?
She's not just
You
the
do not.
one-dimensional
Trust
mustache
me.
twirling
Don't
guy.
mind me.
"Wah, I'm
I'll
going
just
to
get this off."
dominate the world. But by showing us her trauma voice, it humanizes her a little bit to understand.
So
like,
here's the deal, Robo.
crap, you know, almost
The old
every
man
song
is not
starts
happy
off
with
as
your
a music
performance.
kid. And like she went through something.
Instead of
horrific
sending you to the
as a
scrapyard, as I
child. And again,
suggested,
it's not saying that it
he wants to fix
justifies
you.
anything she did, but it does
Hey,
humanize her a
pretty
little bit
boy.
and makes the character
You
more
sure know how to make an impression on the ladies.
All right.
Doesn't it
CJ
hurt
Reaver,
him?
right.
Hurt.
Yelena,
Lady, he's
it's
a
your
machine.
Dad. Don't go in the vault.
He's legally
Okay,
dead. We can do whatever we want with him.
No, madam. It does not hurt me physically.
So we're going to equip you with a little
Anne,
monitoring
that was
chip.
for Anne,
It will
both
do a
times we saw the
real-time
movie,
check
that
of your
is the point when
systems
she
so
laughed
we can
the
get to the
hardest.
bottom of
Like
what
when
the hell is
Yelena's
wrong with
laying
you.
there in the
From
dirt
now on, your
with,
performance will be
with
monitored
Ghost
and
with
graded.
Walker,
So better
and
be
she
on your best
realizes it's
behavior.
her dad.
huh?
She's like, oh no, and she's like starts.
The chip
covering her
is in.
face. I
Let's see what we have
laughed
here.
my ass off. Yelena, don't go in there. Valentina's going to fry you, or whatever it is. First of all, you know what nobody notices? That her dad literally drove across the country to try to help his daughter. Without sleeping, drove all night to try to go help his daughter. I think that was great. But yeah, like her, you know what it reminded me of?
I gotta see.
It reminded me a little bit of Spider-Man. What was the name of the first one? Into the Spider-Verse? When Miles gets out of his dad's car and goes into school, you gotta say I love you too. And his dad, he's like so humiliated, embarrassed. I don't know. Yelena's reaction to that totally killed me. I laughed my ass off. I just thought it was great. Anyway, No writes, I enjoyed the movie. The opening scene when the building explodes is very similar to the opening scene from Rush Hour 2. Good ripoff in my opinion. Let's be honest here. Rush Hour 2 wasn't the first one to open with a building exploding either. I mean, Die Hard 2 did it. Or was it? No, it was Die Hard 3 did it. I think that was before Rush Hour 2. And there were others that did before, like Sudden Calm Serene and boom, explosion. There have been many movies that have done that. It's funny, Rush Hour 2 is one of the few, there's not a ton of them, but Rush Hour 2 is one of those movies that's actually better than its original, because Rush Hour 1 sucks, in my opinion, but Rush Hour 2 is really good. I really love that movie. Rush Hour 3 sucked too, but anyway, that's that. All right, next up, we got Dwayne who writes, Sentry and Void were great. They really were. I'm really excited to see where they take them. Must be hard writing a character that's that OP, but I'm excited still. You know, one of the things we talked about when we found out it was going to be Sentry, it's like, well, so clearly what's going to happen is the Thunderbolts cannot fight Sentry. That you just can't. The only person that maybe can fight Sentry is Hulk. And that's it. That's the end of the list. It's Hulk or nobody. That's it. No other options. For those of you who read World War
I can
Hulk,
already see some
that could
unwanted
be damn
activity
fun.
in your
If
hippocampus.
somehow, some way, we
We'll
end
have to
up
keep an
with
eye
a
on
Hulk
it.
versus Sentry thing.
Other than that, everything seems to be installed correctly. To be sure, let's make a simple test to check that all circuits are in order.
Remember, I said on the show, then
What
what it's
are your
going to be is
prime
they
directives?
can't stop Sentry.
Serve the public
So
trust.
what will happen
Protect
is
the
they either
innocent.
have to get some kind
Uphold
of MacGuffin
the law.
that stops
Okay,
it, or they
nothing
have
disturbed.
to help
However,
Bob
like with any
stop
new upgrade,
Void.
I recommend
But
visiting the
ultimately,
range to
the
check if you need
Thunderbolts cannot
calibration.
stop Void.
Is that
And so they went
everything?
that way.
Actually, no.
To have
Doctor?
somebody with that
Oh,
much
yes,
power,
sorry.
that is
My
that
name is
broken.
Dr. Olivia Blanche. I'm a police psychologist. I specialize in dealing with police officers suffering from emotional trauma.
Emotional trauma? Might as well talk to the microwave. It hasn't been working properly either.
OCP wanted to see if you'd be willing to have a talk with me as part of your evaluation. I noticed that a great deal of care has been put into making sure that your mechanical components work. However, one aspect of your composition that has been severely neglected is your human side, your brain.
I agree. If it was up to me, I'd remove it altogether. What do you think, Doctor? Would save us a lot of hassle.
I don't mind the hassle. So what do you say, officer? Is that possibly something that could be of interest to you?
I am not sure.
Robo, Reed wants everyone in the briefing room in 5. It's about the new guy.
Excuse me, Dr. Blanche, but I am needed elsewhere.
But we...
Well, can't say we didn't try. Everyone get back to whatever the fuck you usually do around here.
Tell you, it was crazy in that TV station.
Movie, and yet he completely
Good
sold
job
his
you had
big
Murphy
dramatic
with
scene
you.
with Yelena. But again,
You bet.
it was multiple
Without
times.
him, we'd
right?
all be goners.
Like, again, in that first scene that she goes to his apartment, several times he goes from really joking to being, like when he realized, like he says something, Yelena, what is wrong? Like he knows something's wrong. And then he, you know, that light in you. Like one of the things I love about this character is his ability to seamlessly flow between being really funny, and I think Red Guardian's hilarious, between being really funny and then being very emotionally true at this, all in the same scene, and he can go quickly back and forth.
Murphy,
and I'll tell you what,
could you please help
that
me out
moment
here?
when Yelena walks into the void and gets voided, his reaction was great. His reaction was great. So yeah, I think he was.
What seems to be the problem?
Next up,
Reed is in the breach, getting crazy.
I am here.
Sadly disappointed. Not enough focus.
Take
on
a spot on the
other than
podium.
Yelena
You're a
and
lifesaver, Robo.
And Valentina fell flat for me, but I like the action and overall
There
tone
is
was
no
great.
way.
Here's the
Murphy,
thing, though.
would you give me a hand?
When you look at what the story is, remember, everything needs to be in service of the story. Your characters are in service to the story. Who you cast is in service to the story. When one of the big main story thematically elements is wrestling with depression.
I can deal with
and
blood,
birth and stuff
guts,
like
but
that,
puke is a
then
no-go
the
for me.
character you
I'll be a
have in your
sport and
story
move his
that's
ass. You
really
got your
embodying
special
that,
glove.
You gotta spend the most time on that. You gotta spend the most time on that. You look at something like Guardians of the Galaxy, where, I mean, most of the time was spent on Peter, but it was balanced out a little bit. But that's because no one character in Guardians of the Galaxy. By the way, another difference in Guardians of the Galaxy is that we had never met any of those characters before. We had never met Drax. We had never met Gamora. We had never met
Murphy, I heard you're scheduled for calibration. Step right up and press the button when you're ready.
So, and with none of
50
them
points is
having
what
a
OCP calls a
predominant
passing
storyline of
grade.
their own,
Shouldn't be a problem.
Movie completely made up of all characters we've already that they wanted a big part of this movie, a big part of the story. Like that. You what you're doing, then most of the movie has to the story story to serve the characters. To the story. I think it's, again, we've met good.
Good job. I'll let the eggheads know that you're good to go. See you in the briefing room.
You know what? Valentina could have been a better villain. I agree. 100% agree. I think
Hi,
that's
Murphy.
a common thing a lot of times when you're looking for a weakness in a Marvel film. Not all the time, but you can usually look at them not having great antagonists. Yeah, you've got your Killmongers, and yes, you have your Thanoses, and you have those. But for the most part, and I think Marvel does this on purpose because they want the emphasis to be on their heroes. But yeah, I agree. Valentina, well, I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus was great. Valentina was not a great antagonist. She wasn't. She served.
It's no secret that crime has been on the rise ever since what the media has named the new guy in town showed up in the city. The word on the street is that he wants to spend a lot of money in old Detroit, and that has made every gang in the city start advertising their services. We need to find him before things get out of control.
Where do we look?
Our best bet is to see if he made contact with the torch heads. Robo, I want you to start by checking the arcade downtown. It's become a high-activity area for punks.
Understood.
Everyone else, keep your eyes open. Any questions?
Any word on Briggs?
What happened to Briggs?
He's been missing since yesterday.
Shit.
Officer Briggs remains missing. That's over 24 hours since he's been in contact with anyone here.
Are the two cases connected?
No reason to assume so. But if anyone finds Briggs' informant, we might learn something new. All right, now get out there.
You go ahead, partner. I need to write this report, and there's something else I need to do first.
Just take him downstairs. I owe you one, Murphy. Oh no, the smell is following you. I'm gonna be sick.
I don't remember getting on a roller coaster.
Look who's back home. Just toss him in one of the empty cells.
Ah, finally. Home.
Sleep tight.
Cruiser's ready for you, Robo. Go get him.
I like the fact that one of the targets got killed, because I think that actually makes it a little bit more believable. It's like if all these trained killers go into a room and not one of them is successful in offing one of them, so I think that one of them fight it. I think that was a good idea. You know, I'll bet, I don't know this for a fact, but I'll bet you anything that in the original idea,
you came clean up this city,
and that they probably looked at that scene and said,
it'd be easy
really,
to
they
burn
all
it
go
up.
into the room and they all make it out completely unscathed? And I bet, again, I don't know this is just me theorizing, but I'm willing to bet that they decided, well, let's put in another character that doesn't make it out. And so they put in Taskmaster, and out she went. All right, next up, Taki writes, top quote, "We are losers, and we were losers, and we just lost." I also, like, every time she says, like when Ghost is saying, "Hey, I recall you got your ass beaten more than mine," and she goes, "Yeah, I suck." There are several times in the movie when Elena just goes, "We suck," or "I totally suck." I don't know why. Every time she would say it, I would laugh hard.
Burn it off.
Like I would laugh my ass off every time she would say, "Yeah, we suck. We're losers and we just lost." I mean, but then again, I don't think
Could you
Valentina's wrong.
please keep the noise down?
I think if the OG Avengers walked in
Can't
that
hear
room
you. Music's
with
too
that
loud.
team, and Bob came down the stairs.
Good evening. Are those two men bothering you?
I don't know.
First they harass my customers, then they threaten to burn down my shop. You need to do something about it, officer.
So
What do you want, cop? Can we have a little bit of fun? We did nothing wrong.
All right. Bang Blaze writes. The score and cinematography was surprisingly great in this movie as well. That music when Bob first took
The music is too loud. My sound sensor measures 126 decibels. You are damaging your ears as we speak.
Oh man, don't talk to me like that. I don't understand numbers.
The best movies ever to do it. Like just the flight felt.
The music is too loud. My sound sensor measures 126 decibels. You are damaging your ears as we speak.
Oh man, don't talk to me like that. I don't understand numbers.
Really got the idea of the awe-inspiring nature of like seeing somebody.
Your volume control seems to be broken.
Leave it! That's brand new! I've only stole.
And incredibly visceral. It's not Man of Steel. It's not Hancock. Some people are saying Hancock. Some people are saying Man of Steel. Oh, somebody got it. Yes, Trent got it. Chronicle. And when Bob goes flying up in the air, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me in Chronicle, because like in Chronicle, when they take to the air, it just felt so real. And when Bob all of a sudden flies up into the air, like it felt very
I always
viscerally
wanted
real.
to be a cop.
And
I even
that's
applied
kind
to
of
the
what
academy,
added to the
but it
whole
turns
umph
out
scene.
that extensive criminal history
Anyway,
and drug
next up,
addiction
Alan
prevent
S.
me
writes.
getting in.
I loved Thunderbolts. That scene between Yelena and Alexei after the Sentry fight got me emotional. Glad Black Widow brought those two into this MCU. That is the best legacy of the Black Widow movie, because I don't think the Black Widow movie overall was very good. The best part of it
Hey,
was Red
Robo,
Guardian,
can you help me out here?
introducing us to Yelena.
Be a man, pig.
But you
Why
know,
make such a
everybody
big
talks
deal?
about it, and I
How
do
can I
too,
assist you,
when he
officer?
says,
I'm trying to
you
catch
know,
this one
when I
shifty
look at
dealer.
you, I don't
This
see
guy
mistakes.
steals nuke from other
That's
pushers
great
to sell it
too.
at half price.
But you know
This
what might
dopehead
be the
buys
line
from
of the
him, but
movie?
won't tell me his
And there's gonna be-
whereabouts.
Throughout the course of the
You will
stream,
care.
I'm probably
Don't
gonna
take
have
it
like
as you
8
can
lines that I say might be the best line of the movie, but what might be the best line of the movie
Do not worry. According to
was
my
in that
directives, there
speech
are
when he's
several
talking to her.
ways to convince him to cooperate.
and he says to her,
I ain't gonna let it reprogram my brain. We
"You
can
remember
talk,
when you were a
but don't let
child,
it drill into my
why
head,
you said
okay?
you wanted to play goalie?"
The
She
guy's
says,
name's
"'Cause I didn't want
Maurice,
to run as much."
but
He
I don't
said
know where
that
to
too.
find him. I always arrange a
But he
place over a
said
payphone. I'll give you the
that
number.
wanted to be the one
Let's
everybody-
hope it works. The dealer knows where the others hide their stash. We could collect nuke from the whole neighborhood if we get to him.
I will take care of it.
But you need to find a payphone first. Try near the supermarket. I think at least one of them hasn't been smashed by vandals yet.
Nice shiny armor, officer. Wanna be my knight?
Oh, crap! Give me back my money, you piece of shit!
Don't you cops ever get bored with harassing successful entrepreneurs?
Hey! This shit is rigged!
That's a serious accusation, kiddo. Someone might think I would allow such illegal activity in my high-class business, which I do not. I get lost.
You work for Soot. Tell me where to find him.
You cops are giving me a stomach ulcer. Stop asking me about guys I don't know.
Withholding information can lead to bigger trouble than a stomach ulcer.
My friends call me Fluff, and
Look,
today
I'm a
on
busy
Misfits
man,
and Gear,
so I'm going back to
we
my
check
office
out
now.
The Noise Pedal from Talon Electric.
Come back with a warrant, cop.
When the noise pedal initially released, I saw my homie Andrew Baina's video on it. I thought,
come back with a warrant,
that is a wild ass pedal, and I had to get one. This is a collaboration with Talon Electric and Scotty and Sabian from Alpha Wolf. I actually love Alpha Wolf and I love what they do, but this pedal, this is just something else. Now before we go any further, this is not a sponsored video. I reached out to Talon Electric to get this pedal to show you guys. I'm not being paid to make this video, nor do Talon Electric get to see this video before any of you guys. All thoughts and opinions are mine. So what is the noise? This is a ring modulator, whammy, pitch shift, dissonance machine. That's what this is. There are 3 controls and a rise control. So the 3 controls are panic, chaos, speed, and then the aforementioned rise with octave up and 2 octave up momentary foot switches. Yeah, it's absolute chaos.
You have such amazing colors. It's not one, but 2 of you. From now on, I promise, I will cherish you more.
All right, I have the noise pedal here on the desk. I know this is less than ideal showing it to you guys because normally for this momentary foot switches, I would have this on the floor.
Have you witnessed the owner
Actually, I already tried to
participating
film
in
that
any
and it
criminal
just didn't work
activity?
out. It felt very
Are you
weird,
kidding me?
constantly bending
Half the
down
things I've seen
and
around here would be
doing
enough to put him behind
it didn't
bars
work.
for a decade.
So I'm gonna do it this
Let
way,
us hear your
with
statement.
the pedal on the desk so you can
No
see
way,
what I'm
dude.
doing
He might
and
be
what
a
I'm doing.
douchebag,
So let's go over
but
the
if you
controls,
lock him up,
'cause
this
I
place
know
will
some
get
of the
closed down,
videos
and
weren't
where am I
exactly sure what is exactly happening. Let me explain it to you. Panic is going to split the signal.
School
sharp
may seem
and
now
flat
like a difficult
for
option,
dissonance,
but
and this is
it will
simply
pay
the amount
off in the future.
of dissonance that you want.
Future?
Next
Look
is
on the
chaos.
street. You must have a
Chaos
microwave
is,
for a
random
brain if you
pitch
think
movement
that.
to shift away from the center frequency. And then the speed applies an all-pass feedback and amplitude modulation circuit. It's gonna modulate, ring modulate basically. And the rise is how fast the effect comes on, which we will get to in just a second. The momentary foot switches are an octave up and 2 octave up. You cannot do both at the same time, it's one or the other. So here's my bass tone. Now with the rise, the lower the control, the faster the rise is. The higher the rise, the slower the rise is, okay? So let's start super slow. And let's start on the octave 1. Let's set all controls basically at noon. I'm just gonna do a low E string, okay? Check this out. Now no, when it rises,
Come back
and you
with
let
a
off,
warrant,
it
cop.
doesn't rise, it doesn't descend back down, it's immediately off, which is really, really nice. Let's try this with the octave 2 at its slowest rise setting. That's a bonkers pedal. Let's put the rise at about noon. I like to hear the effect of the rise. For my tune,
Your body
I had
readings
it
suggest
slightly
substance misuse.
Man, a real like TJ Laser? You are so incredibly shiny. I'm definitely getting more of this stuff.
Who sold
That's
you
just
drugs?
A harmonic at the 5th fret.
I really
One
shouldn't
string.
say, but
Pretty bonkers.
you are
So,
my TV hero.
Let's just play around with it.
All right. All of the arcade staff will sell to you, as long as you got cash. Unfortunately, I'm broke. But I have agreed.
Drugs in the...
Really, dude?
Open the door. I have the warrant.
Upsy, I think I dropped my key somewhere. You'd have to break down this hardened door if you want to get in.
That will not be a problem.
The best investment you can make is in yourself. With industry-leading guidance,
It's
diverse
RoboCop!
solutions, and 50
Surrender your weapons.
Light him up! You're gonna fry! Oh, blast him! It's RoboCop! You're gonna die here!
This controls all the way on the Octopus back, which is also... So you could absolutely do some Pantera becoming, style riff if you wanted. The panic is the dissonance. Distance all the way up. Dissonance is cool, but this is very, very dirty.
That's the spirit!
Let's check out speed. That is the noise from Talon Electric. So what do I think? I mean, this is a very original pedal. This
Open
is
the door,
basically
or
an
you
entire
will.
signal
Can a
chain
guy just...
Where do I...
a single pedal
Shut it,
housing
bozo.
with
Don't
a
you
couple
dare
of
Have it your
customizable
way.
controls. This is a addition to everything that Talon Electric is doing is actually awesome. And I don't know, man. This is just absolute chaos and dirtiness, but also with the pitch effect, it's not all artifacty, and it tracks really fast and it tracks really well. So if you turn all of the additional controls down, at the end of the day, you still have 1 octave up and 2 octave up pitch shifting to do the things that would normally take, a MIDI controlled whammy, for example, to shift between the 2 different settings, or you're bending down and changing your pedal board throughout the set. This takes care of all that. What I would love to see as a second iteration for this pedal is, instead of momentary switches, adding a regular foot switch version, so you can have this remote in a rack and then patch it in, or MIDI capability on a more deluxe version of this, because this is really, really good, and I feel like a lot of guys could get really creative with a pedal like this. Shout out to Scotty and Sabian from Alpha Wolf and Talon Electric for creating what is an incredibly original and absolutely chaotic pedal. It's a lot of fun. I will link down below in the description if you'd like to know more about all things Town Electric and the noise pedal. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Some internet providers claim they offer gigabit speeds, but here's the catch. Their upload speeds are often much slower than their downloads. Is that really gigabit internet? Google Fiber gives you symmetrical speeds. Uploads are as fast as downloads.
Type control. 3 o'clock. And move on to the byte switch, where this is going to add an extra layer of byte, as you know it says in the name, but also quite a lot of aggression and push to the top end. And just for reference, here's how it sounds with the byte switch disengaged. So this can be a really handy feature to help your aggressive rhythm parts cut through the mix. Moving on, we have the tight dial. As you increase this, the sound will get tighter, as the name suggests, but what that translates to is less low end and more of a high pass filter type control. So with it all the way to the left, you have quite a lot of low end and you have a nice thick bottom end to your rhythm sound. As we bring this in, we'll control that low end and roll off the excessive low end that may get in the way of our tight rhythm parts. And here's how it sounds with the tight control maxed out. So moving on, I'm going to center the tight switch, and then we have the 3-band EQ with bass, middle and treble, but we have the addition on this amplifier of a mid-boost switch. Here's how it sounds without the mid-boost switch engaged. Now let's bring it in. Similar to the byte switch, this mid-boost toggle switch might be just what your guitar tone needs to cut through a mix. For now, I'll disengage this. And playing around with the 3-band EQ, maybe we want a nice, bright and articulate rhythm sound that's scooped in nature. So let's bring back the mids, up the treble, and bring back the bass just shy of midday, and here's how it sounds. Or we might want a nice, warm and rich rhythm sound. So let's up the mids, bring in the mid boost, bring back the treble and the bass, and now we should have a real mid-focused rhythm sound. Centering all of these EQ parameters, we then have the presence control after that. And this is going to add an extra layer of control over the upper top end. So if we increase this all the way, we're going to have a super bright and articulate top and almost increase the attack of our guitar sound. Alternatively, we can bring this back and have a more rolled off top end. this back to noon, we then have the master control, and as you increase this, you not only increase the volume, but it also embodies that character and feel of a push tube amp with richer harmonics from the power amp section. Currently, my guitar tone sounds like this. Let's push the master all the way up and hear how it sounds.
Murphy, this is Reed. Mayor Kuzak just stormed into my office. Apparently, his niece's car has been stolen. Find it. This goes to the top of your priority list.
And then after this,
you can start by asking
the master
about
output.
it at some of the local
Again,
garages.
this has no effect
For
on
the
the tone
record,
of the amplifier,
it's a blue
just an
SUX
output control
6000,
for the level.
registered to
And
Melissa
finally, we
Kuzak.
have an on-off toggle switch if you wish to bypass or enable the amplifier. Now let's take a look at amp 4, the lead amp. In terms of controls, starting at the far left, we have the gain dial, and this is set quite high in the default preset, but we can bring this back and have slightly more articulation if we want to. So with it around 11, here's how it sounds. Or of course, we can increase this all the way and get all of the gain on tap for nice singing, liquid sustaining leads. Bringing this back a bit, we'll move on to the EQ section. So here, again, we have a 3-band EQ of bass, middle and treble. And on top of that, we then have a saw toggle switch. So currently this has been engaged, and what this is doing is cutting the mids and giving the emphasis of a more articulate and focused lead sound. If we disengage this, we're going to have a bit more of a mid presence, which may take away from that articulation. So currently, again, with the saw switch engaged, here's how it sounds. Let's take it off.
You need to be taught some manners.
Warmer sound as a result. But if we bring it we've got a lot more. So, bass, warmer sound. Presence dial if you wish to dial in a bit more top end, and therefore articulation and pick attack as well. So here's how that sounds. After this, we then have the master dial, and similar to amp 3, as you drive this, you're going to get that warmth and aggression and general push that you get when driving.
Let's give him a
9. So as you can hear, with that master pushed, we got even more sustain, aggression, and saturation from the amp when you push that. So after that, we then have the output. Again, this is just going to be a master level control for the amp. And finally, we have the toggle switch if you wish to bypass or enable the amplifier. So that's the amplifier section. This capsule section allows you to move 6 virtual microphones around the cabinet, which changes aesthetically as you switch between the various amplifiers. These impulse responses were meticulously captured by Jimmy T at Dream Theater HQ. In terms of the interface, we have controls for the left and right microphones on the cabinet, where you can adjust the level and timing of each microphone. And on top of that, we also have the room section where you can add in a close, mid, or far room reverb sound. Just as a quick note, when using the piezo amp, you'll see that you don't have access to both the capsim section and the EQ page, as these are bypassed when using the piezo amp. So let's dial in some sounds using the microphone options. In Archetype Petrucci X, we have unique mic options for this plugin, chosen by John Petrucci himself. We have the Dynamic 2500, Dynamic 421, Condenser FET 301, Condenser 2500, Ribbon 353, and a Ribbon VR2. And as usual, you can also load your own custom impulse responses if you wish. So let's hear these different microphone options. Starting with the Dynamic 2500, I'm just going to bypass the far right mic, so we're just hearing the one microphone. And here's how the Dynamic 2500 sounds. Ribbon 353. And finally, the Ribbon VR2. Now let's dial in the sounds. The first one I'm going to go for is a very tight and matter-of-fact rhythm sound with a bit of room reverb for some realism. And I'm going to bypass the second mic and choose a Dynamic 2500 mic. Leave the position and distance and level the same for now. Let's hear how it sounds. Distance to 0 because I want it to be nice up and close to the cap. I'll leave the panning in the centre and the level where it is. And let's engage the room. Let's hear how it sounds at a close setting, at around -. So that's still quite subtle. Let's go on the mid. Let's go back to mid. So I'm still going for something quite tight. I'm going to bring the level back down. Let's try that. Now that's sounding good. But let's add to this by bringing in the second microphone.
Do
And
you
for
know
this tone,
where
I'm
I
going
can
to
find
have
certain...
a nice wide ambient rhythm sound
man, all
with
great
stereo mics left and
questions,
right.
but-
So, the first mic I've dialed in, I'm just going to hard pan left for now, and then engage the right
And
mic
my
option,
service
pan
is
it hard
free.
right,
No.
and add in the room
The meeting?
and have
Concert.
I know.
a slightly
Why don't
different
we...
setting, just so there's some stereo
Nice.
difference.
Such as meeting
And
the new
scroll
guy
through
tonight
these
at the
different mic
old
options, starting on the
slaughterhouse.
same mic,
Copy that. Pick me up at the
and then we can
station.
pick one
I'll
that
grab my
complements it
gear.
on the right side.
By the way, I've got something for you, Murphy.
They call me Pickles. Eh? You guessed it. There's a funny story behind that. This one time, I saw Torchhead stealing a delivery truck. After, hoping that the VCR would fall off the back of the truck, you know. But it turned out to be gross. So they left. Still have a couple of jars around if you want them.
So you are an opportunist.
So there I landed on the condenser FET 301 because it had that high end that you get from a condenser with that larger frequency spectrum it can pick up. So it had that sizzle that the dynamic 421 didn't necessarily have. And it's just made it feel nice and wide with a kind of different profile on either side and slightly different settings on the room mics as well, to just give it that stereo width and ambience and light.
Hey, did
if you were
Briggs tip
using
you
IRs
off that
in
I
this
might be
page
here?
that weren't necessarily agreeing
Officer
and you had a bit of
Briggs?
phase cancellation,
he's my
at the
police
bottom
cook.
of
Officer
each of
Briggs
these microphone
need
selections
to go.
and options, you have
Duty
a phase
awaits.
invert switch, where you can
I
invert
must
the
have
phase
misplaced
either
what
of
is
them,
it?
It's his
and
wrist
that
now.
should sort that
This
out.
is so...
That's the
I will
captain
make...
section of
But-
Archetype Petrucci X, where you have 6 mic options chosen by John himself, as well
I have
as
more
studio-level
urgent
control
matters on
over where
hand.
you place them.
Meet me later at Briggs' place.
Yeah, you gotta save the city.